Hello, welcome. It is currently Sunday, July 27th, 2025 at 8:20 a.m. Recording in St. Louis, Missouri, I'm Aaron Wills. This is a random rambling video. Along with welcoming you to my channel, allow me to thank you for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe before sharing this video and turning on the post notification bell. I got pretty heated last night. Well, early this morning, actually. I went down to the nurse's desk for whatever reason. I don't even remember what I needed. But when I was down there, one aide asked another aide if he wanted these donuts she bought from the grocery store. She said she didn't like them, and that she wondered if he wanted one, or if he wanted them. So he opened the container and he took a bite, and I could see right away what kind they were. They're cake donuts covered in glaze, so they weren't glazed donuts. They were cake donuts with glaze on top of them. So I know what kind of donuts they are, and they're delicious. And so she didn't like them, and he took a bite out of one. And he goes, "I don't like these either. They're too moist," he said. Like, "Oh, moist donuts, I want one." So I asked, could I have one, and he didn't hear me. And so I guess he didn't. He says he didn't hear me, and I don't think he heard me because they were talking. So I tried to say it as loud as I could, but I didn't really want to interrupt them talking. That had been very rude for me to have a donut, but I really wanted a donut. Now I wish I would have just interrupted them. I just said, "Hey, give me a donut." So instead, when I asked for a donut, some old lady walked up to the counter and said, "Can I have a donut?" And so the aide, the CNA, who initially had the donuts after she gave them to the other CNA, she said, "Here, take them all." And she took them and gave them all to this old woman, this crazy old woman. And so I asked her, and so I told them, I said, "I wanted a donut." And so she's like, "Hey, so-and-so." Well, she called her by her name, but I shouldn't say her name. She said, "Hey, so-and-so, can Aaron have a donut?" And I said, "Can I have a donut?" And she said, "No." I said, "Well, why not?" She said, "They're mine." I said, "I know, but you can give me one, can't you?" She said, "No, I'm going to eat them." And so she walked off. I'm like, "You stingy bitch." And so, yes, I cussed out an old woman, which is wasn't my finest moment, cussing out an old woman. But she walked away. I said, "You stingy bitch." And so I was reprimanded by the both CNAs, the gentleman who didn't like the donuts and the female who bought the donuts and didn't like the donuts. So they both reprimanded me for calling this old woman a stingy bitch, which I understand that. So I saw probably about 15 minutes ago now. I saw her standing by her door as I rolled by. I said, "Can I have a donut?" She said, "I don't have any anymore." I said, "What happened to them?" She said, "I threw them away." And I said, "Well, why'd you throw them away?" She said, "I didn't want them. I already had two of them. I didn't want any more. Two's enough for anybody." I said, "Yeah, not me. I would ate the whole fucking thing." And she's like, I said, "She threw them away?" I said, "You wouldn't give me one so you can throw them away?" She said, "You didn't ask for one." I said, "I did. I asked for one last night when you got them." She said, "No, you didn't." I said, "I really did." She said, "Well, I don't remember." And I said, I said, "I did ask." She said, "No, you didn't." She said, "Well, why don't I remember it then?" I said, "Because your mind's not healthy, ma'am." And I said, "Your mind's not healthy." She said, "Fuck you." I said, "No, fuck you, bitch." So I cussed her out again. I cussed out an old woman 2 times within about 6 hours, I'd say. The same old woman. So cussing out old women. That's why I entitled this video, "Cussing Out Old People." Cussing out an old woman. Or whatever I decide to call it. I haven't decided yet. I'll cuss it. I'll name it something similar to that. Cussing out an old woman. Something like that. Well, you know as you're watching this what I entitled it. So I don't need to tell you what I'm going to entitle it, because you already know what I did entitle it. All right. I guess after how long now? A little over 5 minutes. It's time to hang this up. I'm going to tell you 2 fingers 8 up club. See you when I see you. Pizza rolls. Peace. Bye bye. See ya. See ya. See ya. Peace.